So as I mentioned, the Film Notes book, the 6x9, which is a kind of standard paperback book, it's divided into 3 sections. It's about writing a film, directing a film, and producing a film. Well, the workbook is also divided into 3 sections because I wanted them to pair together and be similar. But it's 8.5 by 11, so it's the size of an actual notebook. It's big enough that you can open it, you can write in it. Or you can make copies of the production paperwork that's in the book and use it because they're full size. Well, that book is divided into a section on questions. Questions so that you can ask yourself all the things that you may not have thought of. Like if you're trying to create a character, who is the character? What's their background? What's their age? What's their want? What's the difficulty that's going to come up for them? The second section is all on production paperwork. And if you've ever worked in any kind of play or film or any big project with a lot of people, you know that there's a lot of paperwork involved, such as schedules, contact lists, what you're going to be doing every day, and maps or any kind of thing like that. Film is no different. And if you haven't worked on a film before, you may not understand why the paperwork's important, what paperwork to use, what it looks like, how to fill it out, that kind of thing. So putting all those templates in, I thought would be very valuable because it would help to speed up the process that a lot of people are going to go through when they try to organize a film, especially if they're going to do, like a quote, real film with a bunch of people. If you're just going to make a film like in your room with your buddy on your phone, you can still do that and it can still be good. But it's very easy to just kind of stumble through it and figure it out as you go because the moving parts are small. 2 people, a phone, a room, and that's it. But if you're going to be doing a film kind of out in the world, so to speak, and you're going to have a cast and you're going to have a crew and you're going to have multiple locations and maybe there's stunts or there's special effects or there's explosions or there's weapons or there's fights or there's anything that's complicated, then having the paperwork is going to be really important, especially if you're going to hire someone to work on your film. If they come in and see that you have professionally done paperwork or even semi-professional or kind of amateur paperwork, just the fact that you have some kind of organization is going to be really helpful for them. And it's going to endear them to you and make them feel like you know what you're doing and this is a project that is good for them to be a part of. And then the final section of the workbook is all checklists. As I mentioned, going from pre-production, which is before you start shooting, to production, which is when you have everyone on the set, to post, is a lot of moving parts. And having all of that kind of in an outline format is going to be really helpful. So I wanted to end the book with that section so people would be able to have those on hand if they needed them. So that's the quick, the why, and the how kind of behind them. And then the what was, as I mentioned, kind of a very specific niche audience and a very specific need for that audience. So I'm not writing a book for people who are going to be working on professional productions. It's going to be something that's geared specifically towards indie filmmakers who are dealing with small budgets, small cast and crews. They're kind of doing it themselves. They're figuring out as they go. Maybe it's their first film. So that is a quick overview of kind of the why, the how, and the what based on the kind of program that, let me just pause. Go ahead, Todd, and then we can cut.